everyone. I just wanted to take a minute to go over some good news. I think it's good news, but good news and bad news is all in the perspective of the person. This, I think, is good news. First of all, according to thehill.com, more than 70,000 people have recovered from coronavirus. It's probably more than that because a lot of people had it and didn't even know they had it, so they weren't tested for it. Some people had it before the testing came out and recovered fine. They aren't reporting all these little numbers. But at the same time, a lot of people have been questioning, well, how come we're not hearing about it? You're not hearing about it because nobody's putting the information out there. So I came across this. I thought I'd share it. I read a story a couple days ago, maybe it was 3 days ago, about a woman, 102 years old in China, who is a fairly healthy 102-year-old lady, had the coronavirus, recovered within a week, doing well. That's great news. At least I think it is. The World Health Organization says most people experience mild illness typically, and they typically recover in about 2 weeks. They have like a lingering cough for a week, but otherwise in about 2 weeks. And those who experience more severe illness, they could take up to 6 weeks to recover, but the recovery rate is really good, all right? Unless you got a lot of underlying conditions, then you could end up with pneumonia. And that unfortunately happens when you go and have a surgery if you have underlying conditions. They say more, people over 60 are more susceptible, but now they're saying it seems more over 80. And again, it just goes to any underlying conditions, what your underlying conditions are. Keep washing your hands, stay away from people that are sick. Don't go kissing on babies. Don't shake hands. Do the elbow bump. Don't touch your face so that you're not rubbing your eyes. Things like that. I mean, I myself have a habit. I don't care what time of year it is. I do not touch grocery carts. I will wear a hoodie when I go to the grocery store in the summer so that I can put it on before I go in the grocery store, just a light one. And I cover my hands with that hoodie so I'm not touching that cart. And it has nothing to do with normal germs. It has to do with the level of drug use out there. And, hey, I don't know what other people have on their hands. They could have done something and touched that. There's too many weird things out there. So I don't touch carts. Common sense. It all comes down to common sense. And most of us have common sense. We don't go kissing on babies during flu season and all that. So just follow your normal standard practices. Take care of our elderly and our sick. And everything should be fine. A news article yesterday, actually, of 2 young men who thought at the beginning of all this, they'd be really, let's call them entrepreneurial, and went and bought hand sanitizer everywhere. Hand sanitizer, they got 17,000 some odd bottles of this hand sanitizer sitting in a garage that they went around and picked up all over the state, and they can't sell it now because they were selling it on Amazon and they were getting ridiculous amounts for it, like $80, $50, $80, $100 and some odd dollars for a $2 bottle of hand sanitizer. That is insane. And they admitted that they, were doing it to, money, period. It was all money, greed. And Amazon shut them down. eBay shut a bunch of people down from doing it, whether it be hand sanitizer, toilet paper, paper towels. That's why these people did all that. Well, that caused the shortage. And so now a lot of us, hey, it just happens to be, when you normally would buy a package of toilet paper and you can't because there isn't any. Or, you need some hand sanitizer, you can't because somebody's hoarding it in their garage. And quite frankly, I think he should just have to give it away at this point. That's crazy. It's kind of like a lesson. Don't do that. It's rude. It's greed. It's selfish. There are many people out there who need that. Same with alcohol. There are people that have to give themselves injections. They need those alcohol wipes. It's just crazy. So anyway, I thought that was the recovery rate was pretty good. I mean, I realize, the numbers, people are going, oh, wow, that's like 50%. And the next thing I thought was excellent news was right here. this girl right here, according to lawenforcementtoday.com, fast food employee accused of spitting on cop's burger, wiped it on floor, and gets charges upsized to a felony. Again, this is from today, and it's from Bakersfield, California. It occurred last November, where the incident took place at a McDonald's restaurant in Bakersfield that seems reminiscent of a scene from the cult comedy classic Super Troopers. Everybody remember that movie? I remember that movie. However, this time, there's no Farva, no Burger Punk, no liter of cola, and certainly no one laughing about what happened once police got involved. Restaurant management reportedly caught an employee tampering with food that was being prepared for a police officer who had recently ordered. Now a judge has ordered that worker, Tatiana Hargrove, to face trial on felony charges of willfully poisoning food. The judge dismissed an earlier misdemeanor battery charge, but at the hearing last Thursday ordered her to go on trial for the felony count. As a result, her arraignment is scheduled for March 23rd. Let's see what this says. Can we get the video to play?
Moving on to your 17 Court Watch now. The woman accused of spitting on a hamburger before giving it to a Bakersfield police officer was back in court today. Tatiana Hargrove pleaded not guilty to the charges against her this morning. According to court documents, employees at a West Bakersfield McDonald's restaurant saw Hargrove rub the burger bun on the floor before she spit on it. You may recall back in 2018, Hargrove was attacked by a police canine when officers mistakenly tried to arrest her. Then District Attorney Lisa Green said everyone involved handled the situation poorly. Hargrove filed an excessive force lawsuit against the police department and the city, but the jury sided with the city in October, just a month before this alleged incident.
Interesting. So it'll be interesting to see where that one goes. Now here's another one I thought was kind of interesting. And this is, again, today, March 15th. But it's from the Illinois city of Champaign, where an executive order gives the mayor an unprecedented level of power that would allow for, among other things, the suspension of sales of ammunition and firearms. According to WAN TV, campaign mayor Deborah Frank Finan announced the executive order because of the novel coronavirus. In addition to allowing the mayor to ban the sale of guns and ammunition, the executive order lets her restrict the sale and distribution of food and water, as well as take the title to private property. Here we're thinking, oh, well, food and water. Well, I'm pretty sure, hopefully, this means that, stop any hoarding. I'm thinking, hopefully. And as to the title to private property, I'm not sure. Perhaps that has to do with if we need your property for an emergency. I don't know. The executive order also lets her ban the sale of liquor and would allow the mayor to shut down liquor stores and bars. You can also shut down businesses, it says in here. These are, of course, potential remedies the town might take. As of yet, none of the powers that have been given to the mayor have been used. However, the list of powers that the mayor now has decided on in a Friday meeting is an unnerving look at what could be coming to your community. So, by the way, as Katie Pavlich pointed out over at townhall.com, there isn't a single confirmed case of coronavirus in the area at present. So, I guess that means nothing needs to be enacted yet. However, the executive order allows the mayor to suspend parts of the state's Open Meetings Act. It also bans the sale of gas or other liquid, flammable, or combustible products unless it goes directly into your vehicle's gas tank. So I guess that means she could stop you from getting cans of gas. Hopefully nobody needs to run a lawnmower or a generator. Other provisions are more sinister. For instance, the mayor's office can shut off water, power, gas, and other utilities. It can also close bars and taverns as well as liquor stores. The two most dire provisions, however, would allow the mayor to declare a ban on the sale of firearms and ammunition, as well as obtain the title to private property, as may be necessary to deal with a disaster or emergency. None of the options will necessarily be implemented, but are available in order to protect the welfare and safety of our community if needed. She insists she's had many of these powers all along. So many of those powers I have had from the beginning, she said. All we've done is enumerate them, and now the public is aware of them. I'm the liquor commissioner. I can shut down bars yesterday. I could have shut them down 2 years ago. Nothing has changed with respect to that. It is just that we have laid it out, so people are aware of it. In respect to other items that are listed in the attachment, they've been listed in the city code for 15 years. So I think this comes down to, do you trust your mayor? I don't know who she is. So I'm going to leave it up to the people of Illinois and Champaign, Illinois, to let me know if you feel that this is something to be concerned about, or do you have a good mayor? She responded on Twitter, and this is what she had to say, or the city of Champaign responded on Twitter with a Twitter post, and it says, This statement is in response to several false claims circulating online. To be clear, there is currently no firearm ban and no intent to seize property or close businesses. Additionally, there are no restrictions on the sale of alcohol or gas or the ability to enter or leave Champaign. This morning, the City Council approved anticipatory provisions in preparedness to address the COVID-19 virus in our community. This is the first time the city has implemented the emergency order using reasonable anticipation as opposed to post-response to an emergency. The ordinance passed this morning by the City Council authorized the following emergency powers: holding council meetings electronically if needed with public notice and public input if practical. Board and commission meeting may be canceled. Special event permits and other city licenses may be suspended. The city mayor may authorize purchases necessary to handle the emergency. Personnel policies related to leave time and other conditions may be modified temporarily. Temporary agreements with the city's bargaining units may be implemented as needed in conjunction with union leadership. City facilities may be temporarily closed to the public in order to protect the health of residents and employees. Ordinance violation payment or processing timelines may be extended. Payment deadline for funds owed to the city may be extended. Mayor may issue other temporary orders allowed by city code and found necessary to handle the emergency. And the mayor may temporarily delegate powers to an emergency interim successor if necessary due to absence or incapacity of the mayor. The mayor has the authority to exercise other emergency powers under the Champaign Municipal City Code 12-23, which has been in existence since 2006. However, under the known circumstances, no further measures are anticipated. So, if this is your mayor, let me know in the comments what you think. Next, this one was from February 26th, but to be honest with you, I just heard of it today. I have no idea why. Perhaps I slept through it. I don't know. But still good news. Old, but good news. Ohio Democrat arrested on federal charges. She faces up to 50 years for trading votes for cash. I don't think it matters if she's Democrat or Republican. The point is she's trading votes for cash. America can't afford more dirty politicians. We've seen a slew of them in recent years as accusations and charges continue to fly around Capitol Hill. We've got problems on state government levels as well. Citizens elect these people to run their towns, but many are turning out to be grossly incompetent, or in this case, potentially breaking the law. Democratic Cincinnati City Councilwoman Tamaya Denard was arrested this week, and she's facing some stiff charges. She could face up to 50 years in prison if she's found guilty on all the charges. She's facing charges of honest service wire fraud, bribery, and attempted extortion. This investigation included theft of funds from programs receiving government money. She allegedly asked for $10,000 to $15,000 for personal expenses from an employee at a law firm. The FBI also discovered text messages and recordings of conversations, and these supposedly contain even more evidence against the Democrat councilwoman. Like I said, we can't afford to have so many dirty politicians. If she's found guilty of these accusations, she's a perfect example of what we don't need. So there was that story. 50 years. That's a long time. All right, guys. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.